Over 200,000 people routinely see me post about Section 8 housing. So today we're going to go into it and see what is Section 8 housing, how come I am in it, and how I can potentially help you find your own Section 8 property. So first and foremost, what is Section 8? So Section 8 is a federally backed program that assists low-income individuals, helping them on paying their rent. Sometimes they pay from 70% all the way up to 100% of the rent of whatever desired property that they want. So you as a landlord can potentially get 70 to 100% of the rent that you are trying to collect guaranteed from the Section 8 assistance program. Now, why did I get into Section 8 housing? So way back when in 2020, I had my fast food spots, and I still do now, but during COVID, right when coronavirus hit, COVID hit, right, my sales at my stores tanked, right? And a lot of people know my story of how I was doing okay, and then all of a sudden COVID hit and boom, I got wiped out. My sales went from doing good to really low. And it was not just me, the whole world was affected by COVID. And one thing stood out to me. I saw that Section 8 property owners, meaning people who own properties with Section 8 tenants, their rents were still being paid. So when my sales tanked and I had to figure out how to pay my employees, pay my rent, pay my bills, pay my food, pay everything, and I'm trying to be a successful business owner and the whole world shut down, I'm seeing that people were still on the Section 8 game. The individuals who own property with Section 8 tenants are still getting paid. I said, damn, that's really cool. So from there, back in 2020, a seed was planted that I want to own Section 8 property. So then you fast forward 2023, so about 3 years later, I partnered up with my now partner, Miguel, and we're together, we started buying houses that were on Section 8. So one of the biggest questions I get is why Section 8 versus traditional property? I'm located in California, specifically Southern California, and even more specifically, Orange County. And in Orange County, finding any property, the barrier to entry is significantly high. A decent tiny house is like 1.2, right? So I wanted to get into it because I wanted to get my foot through the door with owning property. But at that time, I had not owned anything yet, and dropping $400,000 on a singular piece of property was kind of scary. So I thought, cool, I can get into properties with 20, 30,000 bucks down, and I can slowly start to cash flow versus me putting 500 grand into one property, putting all my eggs into one basket is kind of scary. So together, me and Miguel started buying houses. So with a traditional property, let's say you find a house in Corona, California for $740,000, right? Let's say your average bank payment on that property on 20% down, probably gonna be around $4,000 to $5,000. Now that house is gonna rent out for maybe $4,000 to $5,000, maybe $5,200, $5,300. So you're gonna cash flow maybe $200 to $300, but you're shelling out 20% down, right, of $700,000, 140 grand to make 100 to 200 bucks. That's it. Let's even say you put 10% down, you put 70,000 bucks down. Now you're gonna cash flow even less or be negative because your bank payment is even higher. So to find traditional properties right now in the market to cash flow on is really, really, really hard. So we set out to figure out, okay, how can we deploy our funds to make sure that we are finding properties where we are still profitable. So what is the difference between a Section 8 tenant and a cash pay tenant? A Section 8 tenant is somebody who's gone through the process in getting approved through the Section 8 program, and then their rent, depending on how much they make and whatever situation that they are in, their rent is guaranteed between 70 to 100%. So if somebody has a voucher from Section 8 and their rent is $1,000, Section 8 will pay the landlord anywhere from $700 to $1,000. Let's say it's 700. That means $700 will be guaranteed to you from the government, and then the tenant needs to pay the $300 to you. So that means that the first of every single month, you are guaranteed to get that $700 will come directly to you, direct deposit. Now, when I heard this, I thought, wow, okay, hold up. So you're telling me that this is a sure shot way to make sure that money comes into my account? Like I'm being paid from the government to me? That's awesome. Now, a traditional tenant, you sign a lease that's only being backed by them. You have to go and vet them. And obviously with a Section 8 tenant too, but with cash pay, you are at the mercy of the cash pay tenant. So if they decide to not pay, then you have to go through a whole process to take them out, and then it's a whole thing, and you're not getting any cash flow to your property, and now you're gonna have to start paying for that house out of pocket by yourself. And on average, Section 8 tenants stay in the properties for 7 years. Now, one very frequently asked question I get is the Section 8 program gonna close down? So obviously I don't have a direct answer, but by the looks of it, they just approved a $32 billion injection into the housing program for Section 8. There are 9 million people on the Section 8 program, meaning there's 9 million households that have their rent that's being covered, majority of it by the government. So for the individuals who think that it's just going to stop all of a sudden out of the blue, the likelihood of that happening is very, 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 very low. Now, another frequently asked question I get is the house a Section 8 house? No, the house is not a Section 8 house. The house is just a standard house. Whatever you decide to buy will be a standard piece of property. The person who's going to lease from you, who's going to be your tenant, that individual will be a Section 8 tenant. So it's not technically a Section 8 home. You're buying a regular piece of property, and then you're putting a Section 8 tenant in that property. So as of 2023, I've been consistently buying Section 8 houses, and my goal, my end goal is to hopefully be able to replace my fast food income with Section 8 income. It's gonna take me some time because that income from the fast food establishments is up there. So to be able to replace that, it's gonna be a lot of capital. Ultimately, is it gonna take some time to accomplish? Yes, but my end goal is if I can totally get out of the fast food game, only maintain Baba's Hot Chicken, and get out of the franchise game, I will be beyond happy. So now let's introduce CFP, Cash Flow Project. Cash Flow Project is a company that me and my partner Miguel started in 2023. The idea stemmed from when me and him started buying Section 8 houses, other individuals came to us and said, hey, can you help us get into Section 8 houses too? We said, sure, no problem. Fast forward till today in 2025, we have now been able to establish a full-blown consulting firm. This is not a we introduce you to a real estate agent and then you guys connect the dots and you go on. No, this is we are facilitating 99% of the work. We are the people who make it happen. So let's break down exactly what is it that CFP does. We are a concierge service for Section 8. We connect the dots and make sure you get the help that you need. So we find properties that are either turnkey or turnkey light. Turnkey light means it might need a tad bit of rehab done to the house, meaning you might need to spend between $1,000 to $5,000 max, but nothing like 20 grand to fix this and fix that and giant things. It's just very light things to fix just to be able to pass the Section 8 inspection. Now, property management will complete this, and we have an entire team of contractors in every state that we are based out of. Not only do we have contractors, we have plumbers, we have electricians, we have established relationships in every single department in whatever it is that we need to ensure that these properties will get rehabbed without having a headache. The point is that you won't have to go on Google and say, okay, who can I find to do this, that? Nope, we facilitate all that. Now, when it comes to the inspections of the properties, we have a licensed vendor who will then go out and do a full-blown inspection of the house, and then we go over that inspection report with you. If the inspection report is healthy, and after the inspection, if everything checks out, then we also order an appraisal as well. After the inspection is done, after the appraisal is done, if everything checks out, then we will then introduce you to our preferred banks. We have established an amazing relationship, to say the least, just because of the sheer volume that we have been able to send them. With that, we get you into the bank, we connect you guys to, and then you do a DSCR loan, called a debt service cover ratio loan. Now, with this type of loan, you don't need to worry about your income. What the bank cares about is that the property should be net positive once there's a tenant in the property, meaning all you really need typically is a 660 credit score or higher and about 6 months of bank reserves, and you have to be a US citizen. If you have those things, 660 credit score, bank reserves of 6 months of the bank note, meaning let's say the house is $700 a month, you have 6 months of that, and you are a United States citizen, you shouldn't have a problem qualifying. There is no income verification, and something cool, these loans do not report to your credit, meaning you can have 30 houses, 20 houses, 5 houses, none of them will affect your debt to income ratio. So in total, there is no limit to how many properties you can have with these types of loans. Now, we also facilitate, if you don't already have one, we can connect you to the right CPA to make you an LLC, because all these properties are purchased under an LLC. Now, a huge question I get asked all the time is, hey, I'm based out of Florida, New York, Texas, and you guys are based out of Cali. How are we going to be able to sign documents if you guys are out there? The answer is we will send a mobile notary to you. So even that part we have dialed in. After we've inspected the property, after we've appraised the property, after we have held your hand through the buying process, once all that's done, then we connect you to the property management company that we have vetted. Typically, they charge anywhere from 5 to 10%. 10% is the average, and that is of the total rent. Meaning, if the rent collected is $1,000, they want $100 a month to manage the property. Now, all the properties that we send you within CFP, all those have to fall within the guidelines of being around $15,000 to $25,000 down. Now, that is just the down payment for the property. And the closing costs are anywhere between $5,000 to $8,000. The average CFP client spends about $30,000 to $35,000. That's including the down payment, that's including the closing costs, that's including the turn to make the property turnkey, and to get the property Section 8 ready. Now, after all expenses, after your property taxes, after your insurance, after your property management, your bank payment, after everything, the average cash flow is between $400 to $700 a month on average. Now, a common question that we get asked is, does CFP manage the properties? The answer is no. We don't manage them, but we connect you to the property management company. Another commonly asked question is that once a CFP client purchases a house, does CFP just go bye-bye? The answer is no. We are always there. Once we have got you the house and you are all set up, our job is technically done, but we're always there. We want to ensure our clients' success. So even now, we've had clients who have purchased properties back in 2023, and now they're starting to buy on their own. We kind of held their hand through the process. They got their feet wet, and now they're starting to buy it themselves, and they still need some assistance here and there. We're always there to be able to assist you and give you our 2 cents if needed. And probably the last and most frequently asked question I get is, how long does it take for us to get a property once we onboard onto CFP? The answer is typically between 30 to 45 days, you will start receiving properties to your email. And then from there, once you greenlight the house, then we start the whole process that I just said. So this house, for example, was $23,000 down. After closing costs and fees, the house was close to about $35,000 all in. Bank payment is $643. Taxes, insurance are $170. Property management on this house was $85. The total monthly expenses are $898. Now the cash collected is $1,500. After expenses is $602. Now that is in the client's pocket. This is an actual house that we have done. Now, if you go to cashflowproject.co, that's .co, you can go to our site, you can see other properties that we have done. The thing that I like the most about Section 8 is the cash on cash return, right? These properties that we're finding in the Midwest, we're buying at $100,000. Let's say the average, you put 20% down, you're all in, let's just call it $30,000. And the average CFP client nets about $550 a month. That's the average. So let's even call it $500. So at $30,000 deployed, you put $500 that you will get every single month, times that by 12, that's $6,000 for the year. Meaning for the 30 grand that you put in, you're going to generate $6,000. That's a 20% cash on cash return. Now in the commercial space, if you have any experience in that, you can buy something for 1.5 and make maybe 4%, 7%, maybe 10%, maybe. But to get anything above 10% on a commercial space, unless you're an expert with 30 years of experience under your belt, that's extremely hard to do. And with this, we're getting 20%. We've seen as high as 30%, but the average is about 15 to 20% cash on cash return. Versus there's other individuals. We have a client who had 500 grand sitting in a savings account that gave him a 4% return year over year, 4%, versus deployed his funds into Section 8 and he's getting anywhere from 17 to 20% return. Now, it's not to say that you can't get into the Section 8 game by yourself. If you don't want to use CFP, you absolutely can. The reason why somebody would come with us or use us is because they want their hand held through the entire process. See, we have not only connected the dots, but we actually go out there to the states that we are in. So just about 2 weeks back of the time of me shooting this, our entire team flew out to the states that we are finding properties in and continue to nurture the relationship that we have with the contractors, the plumbers, the title companies and everything, and just to ensure for them to know us, because obviously we're based in Cali, right? So we want to ensure that they know who we are. And not only that, we have done such volume that the individuals that we use have had to beef up their own teams to keep up with the demand of Cash Flow Project's client. Now, again, I also get asked from a lot of individuals from Canada and UK, can a out-of-country individual purchase properties in America? The answer is yes, but what you need is a international tax identification number, ITIN for short. So you need to find out how, wherever you are, how you can obtain that. And then with that, yes, you can buy properties here. Another frequently asked question is, are there already tenants in the house? So the answer in short is yes and no. Sometimes we find properties that already have tenants in them. Sometimes there's Section 8 tenants, and all we need to do is just ask for the housing authority to increase the rent, and that's it. Sometimes there's cash pay tenants there, which at that point, we will then ask you, you have the option to keep them there, or you can offer them cash for keys, saying, hey, here's $1,000, $2,000 for you to leave, or you can do cash for keys. You can offer them $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to leave. Once they leave, then you can put a Section 8 tenant in there. We have clients who buy one house a year. We have individuals who are buying 4 houses a month. We have people that are on the road to 100 houses. We have people that are first-time home buyers. We have guys that have 35 grand. We have clients that are very successful. We do not discriminate. Our objective is to assist you into getting into cash flowing properties. We are not a white label service where we just kind of say, hey, we're going to use somebody else to do these things. No, we connect the dots. We have built the relationships. To do what we do is extremely hard, and at the scale that we do is even harder. But daily, our team is working and we are grinding. We're doing 12-hour days, 14-hour days, ensuring that our CFP clients are happy. Our goal is to make you more. Because if you make more, we make more, and it's a win-win. Now, if you're intrigued by this and you want to learn more, please feel free to click the link in the description. You can book a call with us. Now, if you like this, please like the video, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what else you would like to see